program. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh, you touch my mind.
Good morning, Valhalla! Olds Gamer 72 Cutlass! Spartan! Morning Haze! The maddest wrench on the internet, Mark the Infinitely Tired! My favorite polar bear on YouTube, Startup Hoopers Cuba! Quotes from the Raven, nevermore! Roll Tide, Gilly Chow, Roll Tide, brother! The Mad Doctor of Valhalla, a Dega Outlaw! It is time to wake the neighbors with Southern Viking! Give a UK skull and tuck and roll to Gary Vander Sandwich Worthington! Snacks and friends! The greenest little goblin! The little sheriff penguin Puckwaddle! The lady Arwen Avalon! The mother of kittens! Project Cambrian! The man, the myth, the legend, Psychodwarf 9! Anima Confusa! Welcome to the Warriors of Midgard!
I am the
Justice Davalina!
This exchange is over.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Zero Hour here on Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and with me today, of course, is the man, the myth, the alien of aliens, the xenomorph of xenomorphs. What is up, Zeropium? What's going on today, brother?
Oh, goodness. Good morning. Good morning, Loki. Good to see you back at home, brother.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
It is good to be back.
Right on. So bear with me. We are having some horrible technical difficulties this morning. My internet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, my internet. I literally just showed up like 2 minutes ago because my internet took about 10 minutes to load. And then, yeah, that thing started to pop and break. So it's on, but it's not. So everything's going wrong this morning. So I apologize if anything happens. But aside from all that, Loki, good to see you again, my brother. Good to see everybody in chat. Welcome to Monday morning. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and we're ready to go. Kicking off another week, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the week is so bright. Yes, we got to wear shades.
We got to wear, well, we always wear shades. It's becoming a trademark, if you will.
Yes. First thing in the morning, got to wear some
First
shades.
thing in the
What
morning.
is up?
Yeah.
What is going on? Good morning, everybody. Penny, what is up, Penny? Good morning, Penny. Good morning, everybody. Punk Waddle, Snorted Poops, Cuber, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Project Cambrian, Gary Banja Sandwich Worthington, Darth Arlene. I know you don't talk politics, Loki, but Biden is out. Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny? I said after. Okay, so I said this before. The debate. I said after the debate, he's gone. He's gonna bow out. Something's gonna happen, and we're gonna get the other one. That's
Poor
exactly
Sleepy Joe.
what it appears is gonna happen.
My question is, do you think Joe Biden actually knows about this yet or not?
That's a good question. That is a good question. A lot of people are asking that question. I tell you what, we're here to talk about NPCs this morning, but let's not confuse NPCs with seals that are like, Anytime anything happens, a lot of people jumped on this like, and are now asking themselves, does he even know?
I don't know if he knows. I thought he was too busy trying to stay awake. But I mean, you know, in all seriousness, no, this thing is pissing me off. Jesus. Anyway, in all seriousness, though, I've heard and seen a lot of 50-50 things going back and forth about, you know, his whole cabinet kind of forced him out. He didn't step down because of, you know, a horrible debate or a panel. It's due to health reasons and whatnot. And it's like, you know, maybe we'll never know the truth, because I don't know if Sleepy Joe is ever going to be lucid enough to tell the truth.
Oh, well, this just goes to show you some people will clap for anything. So let's get into the definitions real quick. Let's talk about, we are going to get into this today, okay? Because this was a part of what I want to talk about. Thank you, Arlena, for bringing it up. So let's get into this. What is a game NPC? Can anybody out there give me the definition of an NPC in a game?
People who don't play games are going to be Googling the answer right now.
Can you give me the answer?
An NPC means a non-playable character in a video game or game environment where you, as the player, are not able to control that said person in particular. You may be able to influence said NPC in one way or the other due to some circumstances, either in or out of your control, but you cannot necessarily control that particular being in the environment.
Okay, so the way I originally heard the term was you go into an item shop and you buy something from an NPC.
What are you buying?
That NPC's only job is to stand in the shop. They don't have a life outside of that shop. They don't have a wife. They don't have kids. They don't have anything. They just stand there, and their entire purpose is to buy and sell things from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what an NPC is. But it has a purpose.
It does. Within that world, it has a purpose.
It provides a service. An NPC in real life does nothing but regurgitate the exact same talking points over and over and over again and refuses to listen to anybody else's. Okay? That is what an NPC is. So all the NPCs that had the Biden chip implanted in the back of their head, that was like, he's not too old, how dare you?
Oh my goodness.
Now have had that chip removed, and the Harris chip has been installed, and they're saying, Trump is too old. It's got to be the young woman.
Oh boy.
See what I'm saying here?
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going with this?
I've seen
Who the hell's trying to call me?
I don't know.
Someone's trying to call me this morning.
It ain't me. I've seen a lot of that too, you know, because I mean, you read the comments or the articles, and you know, a lot of people are saying the same thing. Well, Trump's around the same age or whatever. It's like, well, Trump hasn't, and again, I'm not leaning for an unbiased perspective. I'm not leaning one way or the other on this, but anytime Trump takes a stand, he just doesn't look as bad as Joe ever has. He really hasn't. I mean, come on, you can't deny that's a fact. I mean, take age out of the equation. If it was just them two going toe to toe verbally, I mean, really, what were they thinking? Seriously, I mean, Trump can go up there and fight, and play his little Kid Rock concerts all he wants, and, you know, fight. So you can see the gray-haired, bearded dudes up there going, yeah, America. Yeah, and then at the same time, Sleepy Joe is up there, my fellow American.
Oh, he's narcoleptic now.
Well, I mean,
Punk Waddle says, I used to be an NPC, but then I took an arrow to the... Oh, never mind.
Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. That's a little joke. But yes.
We've got everything you need right here. Swords, axes, bows.
We got it all.
Yes, we've got it all.
Yeah. So
Mary's Game Room, what's
Woo!
up? She says, good morning, Loki and Valhalla. Daryl the Derelict says, greeting program and Zeropium. What is up, Daryl the Derelict? Guys, if you haven't checked out the Back Tube or Mary's Game Room, head on over to their channels. Check them out. Absolutely wonderful people. Daryl's got a show with Justice da Paulina.
Oh my.
And Arwen often invades with sugar plums and fairy dust, all that wacky unicorn shit.
Peaches, cats, and bacon.
That's right.
Sausage, bacon flavored sausage. The sky is the limit. Barn owls.
Barn owls. Hootahs.
Woo.
Okay, that came out wrong.
Yeah. I'm glad that was a one word awkward ending to wherever that was going.
But the idea behind this is these people cannot think for themselves. And you've got a lot of that going on. Ladies and gentlemen, you have got a lot of that going on, not just on one side. Let me tell you something. After the attempt, after what happened with Orange Man Bad, you had people immediately jumping on the other side going, cancel this person, cancel that person.
Yeah,
we've sat here and detested cancel culture for the last decade. And suddenly, the people that used to call for the heads of people on the right now are calling for the heads of people on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that like, the only way we're going to succeed is if we fight fire with fire. No, what got us here in the first place was this go along to get along attitude. Well, I can't say anything bad about the people saying cancel this person because then they might look at me and target me. So I'm just going to keep my head down.
Cancel me? How about we cancel you?
I'm just going to keep my head down and I'm not going to say anything. That way I can go along to get along and these people aren't coming after me. Do you know what we call people like that?
Canadians. We call them Canadians. Don't piss us off. We'll passively aggressively walk past you on the street. Hey, you know what? There's a lot of pissed off Canadians out there too. There's the whole world. Just everybody just seems so angry now because we got a lot of that going on. Go along to get along. That sort of thinking is what got us into this mess years ago in the first place.
Forgetting history also got us here. Let's just forget that we've been against cancel culture this whole time and start going after people and wanting to exile them. Now, if someone sticks their foot in their mouth, that's their problem. They did that. But I'm not going to encourage people to go out and say, cancel this son of a bitch because he did something stupid.
Yeah. 20 years ago.
Do you want to be canceled for saying something stupid? Because guess what? We all say something stupid sometimes. That's just the way it is. No one's perfect. No one's above it. We all say something stupid sometimes.
Yep.
It's human nature to say something stupid at one point in our lives. Do you want to be canceled for it?
Yeah. I mean, nowadays it's just so much easier to publicize it and exploit it. And, you know, it's part of the mentality that goes around these days to say, hey, he or she said something stupid. He or she did something stupid 20, 25, 30 years ago. Let's bring that to the forefront and ostracize them for it and alienate them. No pun intended. You know, let's bring all that shit back up, not to learn from it, but to exploit it and attack said human being and isolate them and exile them. And not only that, financially ruin them and just destroy any semblance of a normal life they could have after that at all. It's that whole mentality where people just, they latch on to stuff like that. I've never seen a generation or a time period in our lifetime where it's been such a fun and popular thing to just embrace the hate worldwide and just attack everybody for sometimes the stupidest things. There's our little bit of awkward silence.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To Daryl the Derelict. brother,
That's
happy
awesome.
freaking birthday.
Can't we all just get along? Yeah. Happy birthday, Daryl.
This one is just for you, my friend. Skull!
A doll? I've never seen a doll. Nobody's got a doll. Let us see the doll. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Take your hat off, boy. That's my funniest one. And it's
It'll-
the OG. I love
It'll
it.
never get old either.
Yeah, make a wish, brother. Hell yes. Hell yes. Wish we could bake you a cake, brother.
Mm.
Wish we could bake you a cake this morning.
Whatever
Why
you do.
does
though.
this bother you, Loki? Why does this bother you? Because I see us going in the exact same direction, and we need to be careful not to become the very thing we have run up against for the past 10 years. Okay, this is the way Hollywood wanted it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys what the entertainment industry does. When you embarrass the entertainment industry, they do something called culling you from the herd. What does that mean? That means that they separate you from everyone else and they leave you in the wilderness to die alone.
Mm.
That is what Hollywood has done for decades. That is what they do to people they don't want around anymore. That is what they do to people they don't want embarrassing them publicly. You can be an embarrassment behind the scenes. You can do all that shit when nobody knows about it. But once it becomes a public slap in the face to Hollywood, they get rid of you. These asshats knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing for decades before they culled him from the herd. They knew what he was doing. It's a fact. And then they were like, oh, wow, we never knew. George Clooney knew. And he was like, oh, I had no idea. Oh, wow. I'm so disappointed in him.
Hasn't been.
I want to tell you something. George Clooney and Brad Pitt are best friends. Back in the 90s, Brad Pitt went into Harvey Weinstein's office and knocked him on his ass. And it was while he was dating Gwyneth Paltrow. And he said, if you ever come near her again, I will come back in here and I will beat you until you aren't breathing anymore. And he left. Brad Pitt worked with him after that. George Clooney worked with him after that. And George and Brad are like best buddies. So of course George knew. They all knew. When they were up there accepting awards, when they were saying, oh, I would like to thank God himself, Harvey Weinstein, for giving me the opportunity to win this. They all knew. But the public didn't know. And as soon as the public found out, they culled him from the herd and left him in the wilderness to die alone.
So much for loyalty.
Oprah knew and sent young women to Harvey to get carved up like pot roast. They know. They know what they do. The difference is it public? Does it give them a bad look? That's the only time they care, is when it publicly shames them to have one of these pricks around. And the NPCs clap like seals when something happens, and they make this show. It's a show. That's all it is.
Well, it's all a show.
Information got leaked about this guy, who's actually a good guy. We've just got information out there that may make us all look bad. We're going to call him from the herd and we're going to get rid of him. That is cancel culture, ladies and gentlemen. That is what these people do. Oh, well, guess what? This guy who gives to charity, he's generally a good guy. He works real hard. He's got a good family life. Someone came out and accused him of this. Get rid of him. Get rid of him, because now it's public. It's in the public eye. As long as it's not in the public eye, these dickheads don't care. They have no morals. There is no morality here. They just don't want one person making them all look bad. So as soon as something comes up, we're going to gang up on them and we're going to get rid of them. Does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Because that is what has permeated all of culture now. Not just Hollywood, not just the entertainment industry, but all of it. Look at what they just did to Biden. He's down on points. They made him go back home and act sick, and they've gotten rid of him. They wrote a letter for him. He didn't even write his own letter, because if he had, he'd have been like, to hell with all of you. I was your puppet. You had your hand up my ass for the last 4 years. I've been your puppet, and now I'm not useful to you anymore, and you're going to get rid of me, and you're calling me from the herd.
Well, how ironic. Around and around we go.
And the seals out there, all of it is this go along to get along bullshit. I would much rather have an NPC in a video game that I go and buy potions and shit from. At least they're useful.
Yeah.
They're useful idiots. They might be idiots. They might only have one purpose, to buy and sell shit to you, but at least they have a purpose. The people in real life that are like this, they don't have a purpose.
Yeah. Yep. The NPCs in the game world, the shopkeepers, you know, all the people, all the NPCs that serve their purpose, they will live and die to serve that purpose. Some NPCs are unkillable. That's great. Reliable, self-reliant. They live to serve, to contribute to society, to broaden all of our horizons, to buy our potions, our foods, our buffs, our, you know, debuffs for enemies, all that kind of stuff. They live to serve, and they love doing it because they know no other way. This day and age, everything's a show. Everything's a show. These guys talking shit about us, making us look bad, get rid of them, because we have an appearance to upkeep. We got to keep ourselves looking phenomenal, untouchable, unobtainable. The apex, the tip of the pyramid, the top 1%. We need to stay there because we built this plethora of an imaginary world that we live in now. And how ironic you can compare a game world to the real world, because sometimes I think games are more real than everything we got going on here, because at least in games, everything will serve a purpose to some degree. But this day and age, I don't know what's going on out there. It is a scary world out there. I'm sorry, Loki. I don't know why I keep pointing to you, but that's the direction of the door that leads outside. Out there where the window is. This day and age, it's a show. Life's a stage, and we're all performing on it. It's keeping up appearances, keeping up the cult of personality, no pun intended, that they've built among themselves to be in this grand group of the apex predators of the world out there. Everything's a show, and not everybody gets to play a part in it, but they do, and they want to keep it. And the only purpose they have is to live and die defending it and holding on to the materialistic, imaginary proportions of society that they've built up in their own heads.
Daryl, have a great birthday, brother. We love you. Don't work too hard today. Have a great one, bro. Give me a call later. Tell me how it's going. Mark says, odd that no one from the Biden family, especially Jill, has said a peep. No, because they're out, and they know they're out. The game's up. The jig's up. Yeah. You did so good. You answered all the questions.
I would imagine they've still got the whole cabinet there telling him, no, let's lay low for now, because whatever you want to write, whatever you want to say, you're probably going to be a little bit hostile because you haven't come to terms with what's happening to you right now. Let us take time for this to die down, and maybe one of us can make a statement later on. Okay, cabinet people, will do that. Yeah. His wife won't say anything because she'll just be all pissed off or whatever. And I guarantee you, if she came out today and said, we accept the terms, we accept what's happened, blah, 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 this is all for his help. No. I'm willing to bet anything that their spokespeople, they're people that try to make them look as good as they have, even though we all saw how well that worked for the last 4 years. They're just feeding them what to say because it's all a show. It's like, no, we want to keep yourselves looking competent. So here, we wrote this for you. Just say it. No.
Just do it.
Yeah. Just take this, memorize what you can, go out there and try to act your best.
Punk Waddle is absolutely correct. There are always heirs to the throne in a competition to take over. They want to be the next talking head. They want to be the next seal. They want to be the next one that's like, tomorrow is today. And if today is tomorrow, then you have to work on today tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, that's a funny thing too. It's like, oh, let's look cool. Let's throw out some few philosophical cliches. That way we can seem smart and abstract at the same time, and it'll mean something different for everybody. Great idea. I know the sun will always come up tomorrow. Even beyond the clouds, there is still sunshine. There is a glimmer of hope in the world of tomorrow. And as the human race, I believe we can get there. We all must do our part. Nah, just stop bullshitting us for once. Come on. Quit acting a part and be real.
Punk Waddle, what you're calling for there is the big CW that no one wants to talk about. Does anybody remember back in the day when they taught about CWs and how you have to create a power vacuum and then fill that power vacuum with everyday hardworking people, and then peace is obtainable. Everyday hardworking people, not elites. There is always going to be sellouts. There are always going to be people you can buy. Mm-hmm. You fill those gaps with everyday hardworking people and you rotate them out. Everything's got a limit. Nothing can be done over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And it has to be filled with everyday people, not career politicians.
Yep. Keeping the fat cats getting fatter. I mean, that's the other part of the dilemma too, is the people that are morally bankrupt. They have no ethics. They have no principles. They're the ones that are the easiest to sell out. You know, because I mean, in my view, there's two kinds of sellouts. There's the ones that are so easily corrupted. They're so easily manipulated. They'll just go along with anything that anybody says because they don't know better otherwise. And then
the cat. Go ahead.
And then there's the others that will just morally bankrupt themselves for the purpose of political gain, financial gain, power gain, anything like that. You know, and then there's the other part of the Triforce there, the people that don't care, because in order to be a sellout, you have to have morals and principles to begin with. The ones that just don't give a shit either way.
Punk Water said, how did the cat get so fat? Does anybody remember how Rome fell? Really, how Rome fell? What led to Rome falling? It wasn't just sellouts. What it was about was money. It all comes down to the great mighty dollar. And the regional governors were supposed to train and have soldiers of their own. Instead of training and maintaining armies, they hired mercenaries. And when the final battle, when the Visigoths came, and the final battle with Rome happened, and the end of the Roman Empire, they ran. Why? Because they got paid. They got paid to sit on their butts. Rome didn't have a standing army anymore. The regional governors said, we don't want to pay for it. We're just going to hire mercs. We're going to hire them and they'll protect us. And when the real battle happened, them fuckers took off because they'd already been paid.
Pin me and pay me. See you later. The job
corruption, money, and people selling out is what took down Rome.
It's a disease. It's a mind disease.
And if we do not change the way we do things, we are going to end up doing the exact same thing, except we'll take the entire world with us.
Yep. And we'll be the definition of insanity. Just repeating the same crap over and over again and expecting something different in the end. It's not going to happen. You got to look back on everything that's gone on and say, we need to make a change. We need to do something different. Yeah, kind of like that. And I asked myself that very same thing. How did we get here? You look back at the last 5 or 10 years, and to me, it's all just one big messy cluster trucked blur of legit. How the hell did we end up here? We let it happen somehow. And the answers are all around us.
Mercenaries, like politicians, are on a load of cash. Once it's gone, they leave. And that's it. That's it. We watched the selling of our country. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and we have not been eternally vigilant. I hate to say that, but we haven't. Why? Because half the population is full of clapping seals.
Whoa!
They go along to get along, that will do whatever they are told to do. They have pulled like I said earlier, they pulled the Biden chip out that said, he's not too old, he's just fine. And put in the Harris chip that says, she's young and that guy's old. That's bad. And that they are programmed.
Mm-hmm.
They are programmed to believe and do whatever they are told to believe and do. That is why you have the problems you have today.
Yeah.
Is because of the NPCs and the sheep that cannot think for themselves. They have been programmed from day one to go along and get along.
Yep. That is their purpose, to feed the sheep, to breed and feed the sheep. Because the more sheep you feed and breed, the easier it is to stay where you are. Stop with the seal claps. You're making me hungry. We're sorry, Snorty.
Sorry, brother. We love you. We love you. I'll try.
I'll send some whale blubber your way. That way you can kind of, it's like a polar bear chew toy, isn't it? So yeah, we'll send some your way. Consider it our care package.
And I don't normally talk politics. I don't.
Neither do I. I mean,
but this concerns everyone.
It does. I mean, Zero doesn't really do the politic thing at all, because this day and age, I got to eliminate as much negative crap I can, because sometimes it just really irritates the piss out of me, and you look at a lot of big arguments. I love those socks. If those are socks, I don't know what they are. I can't see. You look at a lot of...
They're puppets.
They're puppets. Oh my God, we're all puppets. Sock puppets. So I was half right. You look at a lot of families that don't speak to each other anymore, and a lot of that stems from talking politics, because it's a real heavy topic. It's a real heavily contested topic, and by the 9 divines out there, as they are my witness, I try to avoid that as much as possible. But this day and age, it is so easy to get swept up in everything. And I know a lot of people in chat have pointed out the same thing. Where we are has kind of always been here as people of the human race. But the one thing that has helped to accelerate all of that is this very platform that we're on right now, because suddenly everybody can have an opinion. Everybody can breed their own breed of sheep. Everybody can flock together on one platform or the other. This is the fast lane, ladies and gentlemen.
Even that cheese-guggling cock Destiny. Pacific 414 asked, who do you think Cackles will pick as her VP? And Arwen says these go together. Kamala's going to have to find a beta boy. It's going to be Pete Buttigieg. Beta guy, beta guy.
I see a lot of that going around out there.
Beta boy.
Who knows?
Yes. Beta guy. Beta boy. Beta, I don't know. Beta something. Booty guy.
Bootylicious.
He's got his booty out.
He's got his booty juice ready to go. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah.
Open a can of booty ass.
I'm about to open up a can of whoop ass on this sumbitch. So I don't know why I just went all John Laurinaitis there. People power, feed the sheep.
So when you got a guy like Destiny that can go on and he can say whatever, whenever, he's got to deal with the consequences. Here's the deal. This is the deal. I am a huge proponent of freedom for speech. But you also have to deal with the consequences of freedom of speech. Okay? I can't come out here and just say and do whatever I want to. That's the way it is.
Accountability.
There are rules around here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That is the way it is. And you gotta kind of find that line where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna do it in a way that isn't gonna get me shot out of a cannon so fast by YouTube that they're like, nope, goodbye, see ya.
Accountability, my friend.
When you don't care about that and you have absolutely no respect for yourself, for other people, for any of this shit, then yeah, you're going to get kicked off. This is not I have a right to come on here and say whatever I want. No, that is not the way it works. There are rules.
Mm-hmm. We have the privilege of coming on here to state an opinion within certain parameters and guidelines.
What you say on the corner of some street corner, that is totally different than coming on here and saying whatever the hell you damn want. You want to go scream craziness from a street corner? By all means, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. You might get picked up by the popo, but I'm not going to stop you. But this is different. This is not everybody. This is not freedom of speech time. This is not everybody can come on here and say whatever the hell they damn well please. It does not work like that. There are rules that you have to follow. And guess what? The other side is finding out that when you violate those rules, there are consequences and repercussions.
Yep.
Talking crap about a guy who lost his life, who wasn't doing anything but protecting his family, I'm sorry, that's crossing the line. You can't sit there and be like, oh, I'm glad this sumbitch got because blah, blah, blah. He was just there. My God, dude, he shielded his family.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed his girls and he shielded his family with his body. I want to tell you something. For most men, there is no more honorable way to go out than grabbing your girls and protecting them with your life. That is the way it is. Most fathers, who are actually good fathers, will give their lives to protect their daughters. They'll give their lives to protect their boys. That is the way it is. For whatever reason, that father gene kicks in and they're like, nope, ain't happening. Because those are yours. Those are your kids. Orville Nation says, who's making fun of that poor fireman? Some cheese eater named Destiny. Why is he a cheese eater, Loki? Well, if you've seen some of the texts that I've seen, he likes to go, he likes diving for other dudes' pies. I'll just say that. You can figure it out from there. Destiny's takes are beyond gross.
We'll just leave it at that.
That's why I dislike YouTube. It requires Section 230 to exist, but it never acts like a platform. They act like a publisher. Yes, they do.
Sometimes it does. Yep.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
And you know what? You're not going to catch me going, why don't you like this? You have to like this. But just remember, on the other hand, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I love this. Why do you like this? We started out here. This is where we started. This is where we're at. The day they decide we don't want you around anymore is the day I will be like, you know what? We're mainly over here. Until that day, this is what changed everything. This is what changed the game. This is what did it. This is where we started. This is where we will mainly be. Until the day they say, we don't want you anymore. Get out. Whether we're monetized, whether we're not, that doesn't matter. It's not going to be, oh, well, I got demonetized, so now I'm mainly over on Kick, or I'm only on Rumble, or I'm only on this, or I'm only on that. I hear that shit all the time, and I'm like, I don't agree with it.
Hmm. Well,
I'll never knock anyone for self-editing using YouTube speak to get around the rules. Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes you gotta watch what you say.
Yeah.
What about freedom of speech, Loki? We have freedom of speech. We can go out on that corner and we can say whatever the hell we damn please. There are also consequences. Just remember, if you threaten somebody, that's an open threat.
Yeah.
You can go to jail and be arrested for threatening to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, really. I mean, you know, especially on a platform like this or anywhere online, you can go out in the street and say, hey, I won't even go there because, you know, YouTube has no words. The whole world has no words. There seem to be more of them this day and age than ever before. But it's no different here than in real life. I say real life, but you guys know what I mean. I mean, I could come on here, Loki could come on here, anybody could come on here and say what they want to say and hold no punches and just throw caution to the wind and say, F this guy, F that guy. And then you can escalate it from there, but you'll find out what happens. Because not only are you in violation of the TOS, you're in violation of, who knows what else has got going on behind the scenes. And it'd be no different than me going out in the street and spewing some hate just to draw a crowd and rile people up and send death threats or say, I'm going to cap this guy or I'm going to go beat the shit out of this guy here. That's a real world problem. I can't go out there and do that and expect no consequences in return. And it's the exact same thing here on this platform.
That's right. That is right.
So sometimes the lines between this here right now and the world that is out there, sometimes it's a very fine line. Sometimes they get blurred.
Pops, there are a lot of NPCs on this season of America.
There's a lot of NPCs out there. The question is, who's influencing them and what purpose do they serve?
You know what? Getting back to the Destiny guy. What's been his consequences, Loki? Well, he was kicked. Off Kick, right? He's lost his ability to stream. Everyone pretty much knows that he's a toe cheese and head cheese kind of guy now. It's all leaked out.
The secret's out, though. See, it's the blessing and curse of the internet. Everything is... It's out there. It's accelerated. Everybody knows it at light speed now.
So, I mean, he's paying for what he's done. There are consequences. There are always consequences.
I mean, the moral question is,
yeah. He doesn't spit. He swallows.
That was probably meant for me. but the question is, there's that word I want to bring up again: accountability. How well adjusted is the moral compass there? Is he going to take accountability for this as well as anybody else out there? So right,
2 days later, he's on there telling Boogie to self-mutilate because he's an idiot.
Yeah. So he's in what? And I'm not a psychologist, but it's like, wow, right away, here we go into defense mode. If you get called out for something and that they've got you, you're thinking, well, I'm going to start my own smear campaign on somebody else. I'm going to start talking shit about this guy to detract away from what I just did to myself. And that's the thing. Everything wrong that happens to you that you cause yourself, whether unknowingly or not, you still did it to yourself. And if you're well adjusted enough, your moral compass should tell you, I need to own this. And there's a lot of people out there that don't know that, or they choose to ignore it. They want to maintain their own perspective. They want to maintain the aura that they've built up for themselves that they think other people see. They can't take accountability for who they are and what they did.
Pop said I watched Destiny dodge and redirect for an hour on Tim Baloo's channel, proving he's crazier than any of us thought. He's not crazier, he's just a seal. Look, here's the deal. I understand that a lot of people, you want subscribers. You're like, Loki, I need more subscribers. How can I get more subscribers? A lot of people watch these seals, these NPCs, because that's what they are. NPCs. They themselves are NPCs. Isn't it interesting that the NPCs of the world want to watch more NPCs? Why would you want to do that, Loki? Because they want to feel like they're doing the right thing. They want to feel like this is the way everybody is and this is acceptable. But Destiny's got hundreds of thousands of blah, blah, blah because he's a seal.
Yeah.
He doesn't thread the needle. He's not the wolf. Okay? What's the point? Let me ask you something. What's the point of being the sheep when you're getting eaten by the shepherd? The shepherd is warning all his sheep to stay away from the wolf. Wolf bad. Wolf horrible. Wolf is gonna tear up the entire flock. Wolf comes along every once in a while, takes out a sheep. Then on Sunday, the shepherd brings the whole flock in, shaves them, and has lamb chops for dinner.
Lamb chops, extra rare.
This is what happens to sheep. This is what happens to sheep. Destiny is a craven coward. Look at the man. He has the muscle mass of a toddler and then talks tough on the internet. In person, he folds like a Dollar Tree lawn chair.
Damn, that's one hell of a take. Yeah, that's the other thing. Well, one of the many things that's out there, you know, the keyboard warriors, the vlog warriors. It is so much fun and easy to come on here and, you know, try to act like you're going to do or say whatever you want. The internet tough guys. But it's true. It's all out there. It's all out there. It is a grand mass of sheep and people and opinions and ideas and a culture. It's so wild and crazy out there. It's forming a pea soup that's thicker than Chun-Li's thighs. It's just out there.
Arwen says he's shilling for a debate with any conservative, but there's a catch. They have to have at least 100K subs or more because he wants to leech off their channel. He wants the attention. He craves the attention. Whether they're NPCs or not, he craves the attention. He doesn't care. I don't want a whole bunch of people that are just going to clap and bark like seals. I don't want it. I don't need it. With that's not what Valhalla is about. Valhalla is about your independent thought. Valhalla is about standing up and saying, you know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm going to say something. And if you want to come up here and you want to disagree with me, by all means, come up here and we will talk. And you can disagree with me publicly. I have absolutely no problem with that. By all means, come up here and be like, Loki, I think that you're wrong and this is why. But you know what? Don't come up here and act like a total prick. I will boot you off on your ass. Come up here and tell me what's up and tell me how you feel. I have no problem talking to you about it. There is a difference between a conversation and someone coming up there just to try and shit on you.
Yeah.
No one wants to have a conversation. Not for conversation. The whole point of the comic book roundtable that we do on Wednesday is to sit around and talk about comics like we used to back in the lunchroom, and we have got into some heated arguments. But never have we been like, F you, or screw you for thinking that, or your opinion is shit. We've just talked. We can have a heated conversation about what would happen if Wolverine went off and blah, 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 or Superman did this, or whatever. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is the conversation.
Yeah. There's conversations, debates, there's, you can even have arguments. I said a few weeks ago, I wish Loki and I sometimes disagreed more, because I like the debate factor when it's all in good common interests.
I like the debate factor
and
when
common
it's
ground.
all in the hips.
It's all
in the hips.
All right, get
All
off
in the
me.
hips.
But that's the thing. Because I know we like to come out here, and I know this may seem a little bit contradictory, but Loki and I will come out here every Monday morning, or any morning that Loki's doing a show, or every time he guests on someone else's show. He will go out there and say that's what being this community is all about, is having your own opinion and having your own voice and saying what you want to say within reason. Like, let's be mature adults here, even though sometimes we're not. But you can look at it contradictory as well, because you're saying, well, it kind of sounds to me like you're creating a hive mind where you want everyone to think that, and so you can think that they're individuals, but really you just want to gather people that think the same way you do. But I'm not saying that's the case. What makes it so great, not even just here, but in other, community functions you guys and gals may go to or anything like that, it's a fact that you have places to go that embrace your individuality, that embrace your own opinions and ideas, because they appreciate humans being human, having conversations, having good-willed, spirited debates, having discussions about, why your opinions differ, why your opinions are the same, that whole thing. So, I mean, there's healthy hive minds and there's unhealthy hive minds. And the unhealthy ones are going to be the leeches out there. They're going to be the keyboard warriors out there. They're going to be people you may or may not even know. They may be people you know personally who will act like they're listening to you when you're trying to have a discussion with them. But all they're doing is just waiting for their chance to speak.
To talk, yes.
Yep.
Hey, Roberts, have a good day. And if that was someone you knew, I'm very sorry for your loss.
We're all with you.
Love, take Valhalla with you today, please. We're with you. Daryl the Derelict says, speaking with someone with different views is how we grow. They may say something that will make us think, and vice versa.
Yeah.
The problem is when the only rebuttal you have to someone's argument is you're a Yahtzee, you're an ist, you're a foe. You're none of those things.
Yep.
You could give a shit less about any of that. But you're this because you don't agree. And that is where the cancel culture and the bullshit and the NPC mind thought comes in. That is where the chip gets put in the back of your head, and suddenly those are your own talk. Those are your only talking points. It's all you can say.
Yeah.
Do you know why? They got rid of the old man and they're putting in their second stringer? Because none of it's working anymore. Threat to democracy, Yahtzee, ist, Ob, it wasn't working anymore. Can't sit there and say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
I was just thinking that.
Proven that is not the way it is.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have her do the exact same thing he did to see if it'll work. Why isn't it working anymore? Why isn't this working anymore? Why aren't these same things that we've called these people over and over and over again working more? Because people are tired of this. You have had people on a knife edge for the last 8 years over this bullshit. Really 10 to 12 years politically. You've had people on a knife edge. Don't say this because this bad thing could happen. Don't do this because this bad thing will happen. Don't go and support this person because if you support this person, you're blah, 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 and you should be canceled. These people said it themselves. Do not give them a moment's rest. Do not let them go to restaurants. Do not let them have houses. Do not let them live lives. We're supposed to be a land of freedom and opportunity. Political persecution is why humans came to North America from Europe. That was the whole point. We want to get away from religious and political persecution. So they moved. They took a effing boat and crossed the ocean to get away from the people that were politically and religiously persecuting them. They said, enough is enough. We're done. We're going to go to new shores. And they did. And a lot of them died just for the opportunity of freedom away from that. And look at where we're at now. Look at what we're doing now. We're right back to the exact same thing that drove people to this country in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want your kind here. And your kind is anyone who doesn't agree with the NPC mind chip.
Yep.
Anyone who isn't chipped and doesn't agree with everything we say, you're bad. And how anybody can support that is beyond imagination. But Loki, are you saying that nobody can support these people over here? No, I'm not. Because for a long time, this system worked. But now, what they've done is they've said, if you don't go along with the programming, you need to be exiled and you need to be gone. Whether you self-delete, whether you leave, whether you do whatever. Why do you think they have so many people right now that are going, if this guy wins, we're leaving? We're leaving the U.S. if this guy wins. If we don't get our way, we're going to throw the teddy out of the cot and we're just going to move out of the country because we didn't get our way. That's not what real Americans do. That is not what this country was founded on. The people say this is the way we want it. Guess what? That's the way you want it. But unfortunately, that's not the way it's happening. That's not what we're getting.
Nope.
And why? Because of NPCs.
Yep. Same regurgitated crap.
Elizabeth Young with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Elizabeth. She says, my personal axiom, don't follow the herd. Be the herd yourself. March to the tune of your own drummer. Listen to your inner voice. Find strength in it. Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
That is what Valhalla is about.
Yep.
That is what this place is about. Guess what? You can disagree with me. I'm not going to exile you. I'm not going to throw you out. I'm not going to banish you. You can disagree with me all you want to. In fact, I want to hear your opinion. Give us a comment after this video is over. Let us know what you think about this stream. Give us some feedback. By all means, talk to us.
I like your
That is what
stream.
this place is about.
But that Zero Canadian guy sucks. He's just a mother Canucker sheep. There's a face. Don't look at me like that.
I think we should feed him to the dragon. Skull!
Skull! Whew, that's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy meatball. I'm pretty sure we have got Machini Draws coming up after this.
Give it up for the Mac. Return of the Mac. Return of blame Canada. We've heard that before.
Blame Canada.
We're just so passive we don't defend ourselves anymore. It's
Blame
like,
Canada.
those Americans and their silly sense of humor. Ha 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 ha. That's just America being America. Yeah. Look, it's what it all boils down to. I mean, especially for me, is just don't buy into all the bullshit, man. If you've got a difference of opinion and you get, people attempt to ostracize you for that. Well, think our way or no way. It's like, you know what? I'll take no way to your way. Because when you get that diseased hive mind, all thinking the same way, like if you don't agree with us, we don't want you here. If you don't like this, I'm just going to say it. You're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a homophobe. You're a whatever is going on out there. You know what? If you can't formulate your own reason why you take issue with someone who has an opinion different than yours, you're really just part of the herd.
That's right. That is right.
And
All right, we're getting out of here.
Yeah, we're out. we've rambled enough. But hey, welcome to one of the first few and far between heavily politically charged streams we've ever done on Zero Hour. And you know what? A fight didn't even break out.
No, Canadians and Americans talking about politics.
I know, cats and dogs, Canadians and Americans getting along. What's happening to the world? But really, yeah, to summarize everything, thank you guys and gals for tuning in. And yeah, like Loki said, let us know in the comments what you think. You know, give us your opinions. Be different. Don't be afraid to be unique, because
afraid to be you.
Because exactly, own who you are, man. No one here is going to talk shit about you for being who you are or who you want to be. We'll embrace it.
Guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak Brennan to enter and go hang out at Machinies, which is coming up right after this. We're redirecting you there. Have a great Monday, everybody.
Well, now that I've been put on the spot, let me tell you what I really think.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.